Hey everybody, it's Joanne Musa, the Tax Lien Lady. This is Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live, when you get to ask me your questions about tax lien investing live on Facebook, and I get to answer them for you. So let me know what your questions are. And Nicole, if you're here, I didn't get an email out today to everybody. I was so busy working on the members area for our 2023 Wealth Building Conference. So you guys that bought all access pass tickets to the Wealth Building Conference, you are going to get your login information in the next day or two. And you're going to have access to all the speakers all the time. Everybody else, you're going to get access to a couple of speakers a day. You'll have 1 to 2 speakers a day. I'll be sending the recordings out, and you'll have 24 hours to review this day's recordings or this day's interviews before the following day comes out. So if you didn't get the all access pass, you can still get it. It is $67 now. The price went up on Monday when we started, but it's going to go up again to $97 is the regular price. So get it now for $67. Go to www.2023wealthbuildingconference.com. So anyway, Nicole, I did not get an email out to everybody letting them know that we're doing Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live at 2 p.m. today. So maybe get an email out to everybody and just let them know that I'm live now in the Facebook group on the business page, answering questions about tax lien investing. So today, because we have some new people on our list. We had a lot of people sign up for this conference, this wealth building conference that we're doing, and not everybody knows what a tax lien is, right? And I will tell you, because we've had a lot of people come in actually from different countries, not just the US. So tax lien investing is something that is only, that we only have here in the US. They do something similar in Canada, but it's not quite the same. But other countries don't do this. And, you think you own your property, especially if you live in the US, especially if you've paid off your mortgage, you own your property, right? You own your house, but you don't really own it. You rent it from the government. And if you don't believe me, just stop paying your taxes, your property taxes, and see what happens. In my state, in the state of Pennsylvania, if you don't pay your taxes for over a year, the following year, they will sell your property right out from under you to somebody else who will pay the taxes, because the counties need this property tax money. They use it to build roads, schools, pay school teachers, civil servants like policemen and firemen. That's how they do that. Most of that money comes from your property taxes. And so they have to get it paid. But what some states do is they don't sell your property right out from under you. They give you more time to come up with the money to pay your taxes. But in doing that, they also charge you severe penalties and interest rates for not paying your taxes on time. But what they'll do is they'll sell your taxes to an investor. They need to get that money, remember, and they want to get it sooner rather than later. So if you go without paying your taxes for a given amount of time, some states it's a year, some states it's longer than that, they will sell your taxes in a tax sale. They will sell your tax bill, basically, and all the penalties that you owe. And that money that they sell, they sell what's called, some states it's called a tax lien certificate or a tax sale certificate. It is a legal document, all right? It's kind of like a mortgage document, only it carries even more weight than that. It's because it is a government document, and what happens is when you buy that lien, when you buy those taxes, you then put a lien on the property, and the owner of the property has to pay. Or you can foreclose on that property. All right, now you're given a certain amount of time. They call it the redemption period. The owner is given a certain amount of time to redeem that lien, or the lien buyer, the investor, can foreclose on the property. Now that is leverage, folks. That is leverage to get paid. And why is it a good investment? Well, because when people don't pay their taxes, they get charged a lot of money. They get, depending on the state. I have a book out on Amazon. It's called Tax Lien Investing Secrets, how you could get 8 to 36% on your money without the typical risk of real estate investing. And that's typically the amount that they charge by the state. Between 8 and 30, well, it was 36%. Now it's a little bit lower because Illinois was the most profitable state to invest in. It was 18% every 6 months. It was a penalty. They changed that to 9% every 6 months. But there are other states you could probably get as much as 24%. And that's only if you get the return on your money and the property redeems. The owner of the lien redeems the property. In other words, they pay the taxes. They pay you, the investor, what you paid to get that tax lien certificate and any penalties or interest, which could be up to 24% a year, okay, depending on the state. All right, so that was just for the new people that want to know what a tax lien is. This is, now I'm doing this on my Facebook page at facebook.com/tax lien investing tips, my business page on Facebook, but it's also going to be streamed to the Investing for Success Facebook group. All right, so people that have come on to the Wealth Building Conference, a lot of these people have also joined the Investing for Success Facebook group. So this will be there for you guys so that you guys who don't know what tax liens are and what tax lien investing is can get a feel for what it is and whether it's for you or not. Now, remember, if you missed anything, I know there's a couple people coming on now. If you missed anything, you can watch the replay. It's going to be here as soon as we're done. The replay will be here on Facebook. But in the beginning, when I started talking about what tax liens are, I said it's something that is exclusive to the U.S. But if you're not in the U.S., if you're a foreigner, some states do allow foreigners to invest in tax liens. And most deed states do allow foreigners to invest in tax deeds. What's a deed state? Well, deed states are like the state I live in Pennsylvania, where they just sell the property right out from under you if you don't pay your taxes. They call those deed states because they're actually selling the deed to the property. All right. So anyway, this is Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live, where I am here to answer your questions about tax lien investing. So that's my little announcement for today and my little class, so to speak, on what a tax lien is. But for you guys that are on here live, bring me your questions. What specific questions do you have about investing in tax liens and tax deeds? And I'll be happy to answer them for you here. When I do tax lien investing tips, and I've been doing that inside the Investing for Success group, I don't necessarily do a Q&A. I just give a quick tip on tax lien investing. But here, I'm here to answer your questions. Okay, and Brittany Vance is asking when you, oh, excuse me, guys. Just got a tickle in my throat. When you buy a tax deed in Florida, you are not responsible for the mortgage, but you could be liable for any liens against the property. Brittany, only if those liens are government liens, okay? A tax lien comes before every other lien. So here's how it works in Florida. It's a little different than other states in the US. In Florida, when you purchase a tax lien, and the redemption period is over. In Florida, the redemption period is 2 years. When that is over, after 2 years, that if you buy the tax lien in a tax lien sale, then you don't actually get to foreclose on the property like you do in other states. What you do in Florida is you do a tax deed application. You apply for that lien to go into a tax deed sale, and it gets sold in a tax deed sale to satisfy your lien. All right, so you'll get paid what you bought the lien for, and any penalties, interest that was accruing, you don't get paid until the property owner redeems the lien, or until it gets sold at the deed sale. In this case, in the case of Florida, then you get redeemed. Also, when you do that tax deed application, you pay all other outstanding taxes, and that starts accruing at 18%, okay? Now, what if there are other liens on the property when it goes into the deed sale, all right? And and let's say you or somebody is buying that deed at the deed sale, all right? And you're bidding for it at the deed sale, and you purchase that deed. What other liens might you have to worry about? You don't have to worry about the tax lien because you just satisfied that when you bought it at the deed sale. The minimum bid satisfied that tax lien, okay? But what if there was a mortgage on the property? What if there was a mechanics lien on the property? What if there was an IRS lien on the property? Well, if there was an IRS lien or any other government liens, like local government liens, water, sewer, anything that comes from the government, all right, that will stay on the property, but anything else will go away. Now, what's changed in the last few years are POA liens, Property Owners Association liens. In some states, those will remain. So check that out, and it could be even by county. So you want to check that out in the county where you are buying the deed to see if those property association liens will remain or not. But other liens, other than government liens, are going not to remain when you buy that in a deed sale. Now, there is a difference here in Pennsylvania where I live. They actually have 2 different deed sales here. And if you buy in the first one, it's called the upset sale, you are responsible for any other liens on the property. If there's a mortgage or anything else on the property, then you're responsible for it if you buy in that sale. But if it doesn't sell in that sale, then a few months later, it goes into the judicial sale. And if you buy in the judicial sale, you are not responsible for any other liens on the property unless they are government liens. Okay. All right. So great question, by the way, Brittany. All right, so Savannah asks, I live in Los Angeles, California. Does California have tax liens? No, they don't, Savannah. They have deeds, just like they do here in Pennsylvania. They just sell the property. So you're buying the property in California. And also that's how Nevada works also, because you said you're interested in Arizona and Nevada tax lien sales. Nevada also sells the property, they sell deeds, but Arizona does have liens, and their lien sales are in February. As a matter of fact, their platforms that do those online lien sales are open now to register. Some of them won't open for a week or so yet, because they only open a couple of weeks before the sale. But most of those sales are going to be done by the middle of February. They'll be over by then. So a lot of them are open now or will be open soon. And you've got to register in advance for those sales. And some of them you have to put a deposit before you bid. Now, those are for the ones online. Arizona also has some counties that are not online that are live, where you actually have to show up and bid at a live sale. Okay, and so the ones in Arizona, they all happen in February, and most of them are over by the middle of February. And Nevada and California the county gets to determine when they want to do it, and it can be any time of year. So those happen like throughout the year, but Arizona only happens in February. Those are liens. And most states that have tax lien sales only have them at a given time of year. All right. All right, Savannah, so I hope that answers your question. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, somebody from YouTube asks, do you work with IRA money and larger sums to invest for clients? Oh, yes. Yeah, and Nicole, you could put this, well, they'll have this video on YouTube. We also, these videos, they're streamed here. I do them in StreamYard. They're streamed to the Facebook page, but then we also put them on YouTube. So the answer to this question is that you can invest in tax liens and tax deeds with money from your IRA. And I am also the manager of a tax lien investing fund. So the fund is really for accredited investors who have at least $100,000 to invest. So if you have $100,000 to invest or even more, you can actually get, actually it's the only way to get me to do the investing for you, is to be a member of this fund. It is a tax lien investing fund. And if you want more information on the fund, I am the acquisition manager, so I don't handle getting new people into the fund. What you need to do is send an email to documents@taxlienfundlp.com. So Nicole, if you could put that in the comments for everybody, documents@taxlienfundlp, LP for limitedpartnership.com. And just send an email. But when you send that email, you want to let them know that you're an accredited investor and you heard me talk about the fund and you want more information, okay, about how you can invest in the fund. Okay. All right. It's a partnership. You're actually investing, you're owning shares of an LLC or a limited partnership, and it's a totally passive way to earn money from tax lien investing. But again, you have to be an accredited investor and have at least $100,000 to invest. All right, so it looks like we've answered all the questions that we got. I do want to let everybody know again, if you haven't registered yet for the 2023 Wealth Building Conference, it's free to register for the conference. We have 1 to 2 expert interviews that go out each day. You have 24 hours to review the interviews before we put the next day's interviews on. They get posted at 9 a.m. Eastern time in the morning, and it goes on for 14 days. Now, you already missed the first 2 days because today's day 2, right? But you'll get tomorrow's day 3. And guess what? If you still want the interviews, the expert interviews from day 1 and day 2, you can still get them, because you could get a VIP all access pass to the Wealth Building Conference. And when you get the all access pass, you get access to you get unlimited access, not only to the videos of the interviews, but also the audios and all the freebies that our experts are giving away. And we have experts that are talking about how to attract more money into your life. As a matter of fact, a couple of the experts that I interviewed were single moms with, both of these single moms had 3 little kids, and one of them was on food stamps, and then in a short time had a 6-figure business, went from living on food stamps, having no job, to having a 6-figure business in a short time. So she'll be interviewed. And then we had another single mom who was living in Lebanon, the country of Lebanon, came to the U.S. And had met her soulmate, is married now, has a wonderful marriage, travels the world, and has a wonderful business. So those are just like two of our speakers that have been able to attract more money into their life. We also have speakers on that are success coaches, financial advisors, and investors to show you how to invest your money for greater return with less risk. All right. And tomorrow we have a financial advisor that is going to show you how to be your own financial advisor. And my mentor, Mark Jackson, better known as MJ, who is going to talk about investing in real estate anywhere from anywhere. Okay, so even if you're not in the US, you can invest in real estate in the US. All right. All right, so Nicole has put the link to register for the Wealth Building Conference. She's put that in the comments. And also, Nicole, put the link in the comments where people can get more information on the fund, documents at taxlienfundlp.com. Okay. All right, so is there anything else that we want to mention today? For those of you that are coaching clients, we have a coaching call tomorrow night at 7 p.m. I'm excited because tonight I get to interview two more experts. Their interviews will be aired next week. I get to interview Lance Edwards, who is actually, I interview him later in the week. Tonight, I get to interview the podcast host of the Money Tree podcast, the Money Tree Investing podcast, Kirk Chisholm, who has a lot of insight into the economy and finance and what to invest in. So can't wait to interview him tonight, and then interviewing another expert who is also an expert about investing. So I can't wait for those two interviews tonight. They will be aired next week, so stay tuned. If you did get the VIP pass already, soon you will be getting information on how to log into the members area and get all those interviews once they are dripped out. All right, so last call for questions, guys. Last call. I'm going to take a sip of water, and while I wait to see if there's any more questions before we end today's Tax Lien Lady Live. Oh boy, all that talking made me thirsty. All right. So also, I know there's a couple people on. Tell me, say hello, let me know where you're coming in from, and let me know if you have any questions. So where are you coming in from today? Let me know what your questions are. If we don't get any more questions, I'm going to end today's Facebook Live, but I will be here next Tuesday at 2 p.m. And guess what? I'm in the Investing for Success Facebook group tomorrow morning at 9:30 and Thursday morning at 9:30. So join me there. Go to facebook.com/groups/investing for success, and you can apply to join the group. It's a private group just for tax lien investing. So you just have to answer some questions before we let you in. Just let us know that you're going to agree to our terms and conditions. And you can read about them there. And that, and just let us know if you're interested in tax liens or tax deeds, and if you're ready to take action. If you're not interested in tax liens or tax deeds, we will still let you into the group, because we have, for instance, in this wealth building conference, we have a lot of other investment opportunities, and just opportunities to be more mindful about money, to have an abundant money mindset, to go from scarcity to abundance. That's what we're all about, okay? So we'll let you in as long as you agree to our terms and conditions, okay? Because we don't want anybody spamming or soliciting in our group or being not nice to other people, all right? So that's just why we have those terms and conditions. And Nicole has put the link in for you to go to the group and join if you haven't already. And Nicole, I haven't seen any other questions. So I think we're going to do a short Ask the Tax Lien Lady live today, and we will be here next week at 2 p.m. Eastern. All right, everybody. I will see you then, or maybe I'll see you early in the morning, 6:30 Pacific time, 9:30 Eastern time tomorrow or Thursday for a quick tax lien investing tip. Bye.